right, straight to the core of the issue here, paying rent. How much do you pay rent? How many people out there right now have such an increasing rate of rent that they basically takes three paychecks to pay your rent? And you have one paycheck left and you got to pay the rest of your bills because you got to live. You got to pay your phone. You got to pay your light. You got to pay your water. You got to pay everything. You got to pay everything. You got to buy groceries. If you got kids, you got to pay for anything they need for school, everything. Because of course, to go to school, you got to pay for that as well. You got to pay for the school. You got to pay for the supplies. You got to pay for your uniforms, socks, underwear, everything out there. Everything you need. You get a new job. You need a new uniform. You got to pay your car. You got to pay everything monthly. How much does it amount to? You have multiple subscriptions. Either you have subscriptions in games with the battle passes and game passes. You have subscriptions to Netflix, Prime, Hulu, Crunchyroll, anything, HBO Max, Disney. Everything is separated. Now it keeps increasing. The amount you got to pay monthly. These corporate companies just want more and more and more. It's in our gaming. It didn't used to be in gaming, but nowadays it's all over gaming. They monetize gaming. You gotta pay for your internet. Then you gotta pay for the service of the game, monthly service. There's some games that have a monthly service for you to play. And then if you buy a battle pass, then the microtransactions on top of that, you gotta pay for that as well. So how many layers of money you gotta pay to actually enjoy your life? How much free time do you have to be doing the things you want? You got movie theaters are expensive. Everything is expensive. Gas is expensive. Insurance is expensive. Everything. And rent, these people that rent, these are the biggest problem. I think this is what's keeping America in general, maybe the world, poor. Because if your rent might decide if you're poor or not. We got all these greedy landlords just increasing everybody's rent. They got 10 properties or maybe 500 properties. Who knows? And they're just milking the whole nation. They're milking everybody, all the people. They're just milking it. There's no cap. They could keep increasing your rent and make the standards they want. They could just keep increasing it, and just milk everybody. Everybody just has to pay their landlords. You cannot live your life without a house or a home, an apartment, a studio. You gotta live somewhere. And that's how they milk you. They know this is a necessity of life. They're gonna milk the hell out of you. They're gonna keep increasing it. And their money, they're just like a gaming term, which is farming. They're farming people like a field of crops. And they come every month and they just collect all the crops. All for them. That's how it is. That's how the landlords are making everybody broke. They have the money. And who knows, they got to pay other things. But this is the perspective of 90% of the people. 90% of the people are just being grinded to bone by rent. And everything else is just added on top. But rent is the biggest issue. It is what keeps people down. Because if you can't pay your rent, then there's no point in having internet. There's no point in having games. There's no point in where do you keep all your stuff, your clothing, your bed? Where do you sleep? Rent is everything. It's the first issue. It's the first line. And in the past, rent used to be 25% of your income. And I believe that's what it should be. 25% of your income sounds reasonable. But it's not even that. It's not even half. It's more than half of your income nowadays. Rent is just, you work to pay rent. Most people work to pay rent. How do you save money to buy a house? It's impossible to buy a house nowadays. How do you save money for any type of future? Any type of anything? We got kids coming off of colleges which don't even have a job. And they're already expected to pay an enormous amount of rent. How? How are they going to do that? They have no experience. They have no job. How do you live life nowadays when there's a subscription for everything. Soon there's gonna be a subscription for you to drive your car. There's gonna be a subscription for every fast food. There's gonna be a subscription for everything. Here, we're really, really close to what I call pay to live. And I think that's a fact. Pay to live. If you can't pay, then you're not allowed to live. And you could see this, like, who's ever called an ambulance and have to pay thousands of dollars of service, medical service? They're in debt for the rest of their life. And it's not a student loan, which is a whole nother issue. It's a medical bill that you have to pay forever because it's nonsense. It's pay to live, guys. That's the new term. It's not pay to win, which is another term. You could pay to win. Life, the money makes more money. When a lot of people, the government gave money to a lot of people, and all this money trickled down to the people who already had the money because they're the ones that have the businesses. They're the one, like Amazon. Amazon has, everybody buys everything in Amazon. Amazon, Jeff Bezos is already rich as hell. So what did everybody do? They took the government money, they gave it to Amazon, making him one of the richest persons in the world, period. Because all the money trickles down to the rich. Because we need to consume. We're consumers. We buy stuff. We buy stuff in our video games. We buy stuff. So how are we supposed to be consumers? Which helps the economy because we keep moving the money. The money keeps moving through the economy from hand to hand. But once these big corporations get the money, they're not trickling it down to the people again. They're keeping it. They're herding it. They start buying stocks and start looking for offshore accounts and all these shady loopholes in the government to keep all the money, to stay rich forever, to keep it with them, their families, their generations. And then the people, there's just less and less because they keep herding. They herd all the money. They just have it all. They have it all. And they're not trickling it down back to us. It's not in rotation. It's just in their pockets. In their pockets. Not moving. Especially not moving for people like us, which have to grind our whole life. We have to grind every day to give the whole check to your landlord. Give your whole check to the bills. Bill after bill after bill. And what do? You can't go to the movie theater. You can't buy pizza. You can't live your life. Pay to win. I mean, live to pay, or is it pay to live? It is a fact that the American dream is dead. Those days where you could buy a home and live with your family, raise your kids in a nice home with everybody their own room, not having to be worried about being homeless. The new America is not that. The American dream is dead. It's harder and harder to get jobs. AI 100% is going to replace many, many jobs. Robotics and all this. These corporations don't care. They're going to get richer and richer. Capitalism is broken because of corporations. So it's not capitalism. It's not the problem. It's corporations with their big, greedy ways to make people addicted to whatever. But people have a choice. They have a choice. They could vote. They could make a difference. They could choose not to. But as being a person that I also contribute to buying in games, I also enjoy. I want to live my life. I want to buy a pizza. That comes from a corporation, unfortunately. I want to buy from the game. And I want to indulge in life and happiness. I want to do these things. And it should be available to do. No problem. The thing is, it is becoming a problem. Mostly because of the increasing price of rent on top of everything. Rent cripples us so much. It's ridiculous how it cripples us so much, and there's no limit to how much they could cripple us. It's just terrible, guys. If anything, Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments if you suffer or you agree or disagree with anything I'm saying. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching the video this far. Thank you guys. Please like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.